For the intents and purposes of this video, let's define a board wipe. A board wipe, also known as a board sweep, is an instant or sorcery spell that destroys or exiles all permanents of a certain type. And I'd like to expand this by saying board wipes can also be any other type of card, not just instants or sorceries. There are definitely artifacts and creatures that get rid of the stuff just as well as the instants and sorceries do. There are 12 types of board wipes. I know it's a lot. We got Wrath effects, specific creature board wipes, Threshold board wipes, Wrath of all but damage board wipes, Toughness Reducers, specific card type board wipes, Modal board wipes, Absolute board wipes, One-sided board wipes, Planeswalker board wipes, and Destroy all of board wipes. You know, maybe these didn't need to be split up so much, but I think it works out nicely to, I don't know, differentiate the various types. Now, Wrath effects come from the card Wrath of God, all the way back from Alpha. They are symmetrical board wipes that destroy all creatures on the battlefield, and specifically creatures only. These affect most creatures on the board are usually played at sorcery speed, but there are always exceptions. These types of board wipes are specific to creatures and they don't hit all creatures. Extinction is a great example. You destroy all creatures of the chosen type. Not as hard as a Wrath, but it does get rid of what you may need at the time. Other examples are Crux of Fate, Extinguish All Hope, Suleiman's Legacy, or Tivadar's Crusade. Yet there aren't many of these because they're a little too niche, but old Magic was wild. The newer ones like Crux of Fate and Extinguish All Hope are broader, and that's the new direction these have been going in the recent history. So they'll specify a certain type or non-type, and they'll go for those. These types of board wipes have nothing to do with the ability threshold, but rather you're looking to see if something specific of this kind is on the board to wipe. Citywide Bust is one that's really easy to understand. It only destroys creatures with toughness 4 or greater. You're reaching a threshold of what you can use this board wipe on. So Damning Verdict, Don't Move, and Iridian Maelstrom are also great because they have certain rules they have to meet to destroy things. Damning Verdict has to destroy creatures with no counters, Don't Move destroys only tapped creatures, and Iridian Maelstrom can only destroy creatures that aren't all colors. If you don't meet the criteria, these don't destroy it. So hopefully that makes sense. These types of Wraths are the same as the regular Wrath cards, but they have one trick up their sleeves. They'll destroy all creatures, but one or a few. So Time Wipe, the Nipton Lottery, and Unstable Glyph Bridge are perfect examples. You choose one creature or a few creatures, and then you destroy the rest. So you can save something from yourself, essentially. Nothing else too special about these other than they're really great in Voltron type decks or a deck that really relies on specific creatures. Time Wipe being in my Madomai the Ageless deck for good reason. These board wipes aren't necessarily board wipes. It's more like you deal damage to each creature and pray that it destroys some of them. Slice and Dice, Crater Hellion, and Anger of the Gods do a somewhat small amount of damage to each creature, which may not help sometimes, but they have their place. The most famous example would, of course, be Blasphemous Act, which deals 13 damage to each creature. Much more effective. But anything that deals damage and doesn't say to destroy each creature is in this category. These cards are similar to the damage ones, but they'll reduce the toughness of each creature instead of dealing damage to them. These can range from -2/-2 to all creatures with Drown in Sorrow, to -3/-3 with Blight Grenade, and even -4/-4 with Feast of Succession. But the best one I think is Toxic Deluge, of course, where you can choose X, where with your life, and then make all creatures that much smaller. This kind of board wipe is extremely effective because state-based actions see the creatures with 0 toughness and just take them out in a cleaner way than damage does. But hey, everything has its place, right? Board wipes that care about what type the card is fit into this category. Back to Nature, for example, destroys all enchantments, while Shatterstorm destroys all artifacts. Boil could be in here too, just destroys all islands. Like I said, old Magic was nuts. But then there's the land board wipes like Armageddon that just destroy all the lands. Even cards like Bane of Progress that destroys a couple of types of things. Anything that destroys only a specific card type goes in this category. These are some of the best board wipes in the game. With them, you're able to specifically choose what you'd like to destroy with no fuss. Let's take the classic Austere command. It's got lots of options and you get to choose two. Destroy all artifacts, or destroy all enchantments, or creatures big or small, stuff like that. These types of cards allow you to choose what you'd like to do at any given moment, giving you the opportunity to take control of the game a little bit better than the other ones do. Other examples include Cleansing Nova, Farewell, or Final Act. The choices are great, and these will always find a spot in your decks. Absolute board wipes are the hardcore, I don't give a crap, I want everyone to lose all their cards. You say to everyone, including yourself, I want to play for another 4 hours. With names like Exterminatus, Boom Pile, and Planar Cleansing, what else do you expect? These simply just get rid of all non-land permanents, and sometimes just everything. Like Apocalypse, Bearer of the Heavens, or Worldfire. So be cautious with these though. You know, I jest, but sometimes these can be extremely useful in the proper situation, and you can definitely win using one of these cards. So these are exactly what they sound like. I whip everything on your side of the board, and then I keep everything that I have. In Garruk's Wake being the most famous, I think. Destroy all the creatures or whatever you don't control. That way you'll have a winning edge. Plague Wind is almost the same, just being an older version of that card. Overwhelming Forces is another great one that targets an opponent, but it's almost the same. Yeah, there aren't too many of this kind, but you get the idea. Now, these aren't exactly what you're thinking. It's not destroying Planeswalkers, because I'd categorize something like Blood on the Snow, a modal board wipe, and Slash in the Ranks just as a regular Wrath with a bonus. So, I don't know if that could be another category. Planeswalker board wipes are board wipes that come from Planeswalkers themselves. These wipes take all forms, but are just found on Planeswalkers. It's a bit different, but it's something you have to build towards instead of just having it in your hand. So the effect might take a minute to achieve. Yeah, examples are Ajani Vengeant, which destroys all of someone's land, Angrath, Minotaur Pirate, which destroys target player's creatures, and it's just kidding, I lied. Elspeth Sun's Champion's second ability is to board wipe large creatures. So there's that. So no build up for that one, but you get the idea. This is a weird category. There are cards that destroy all of a thing, but specific to a creature. So Venomous Breath is one of these. You'll destroy all creatures that blocked or were blocked by it this turn. So these cards are kind of small, specialized mini board wipes. They don't affect the whole table, but you can affect someone else's stuff. So Strip Bear, Turn to Slag, and Corrosive Ooze are some others that destroy stuff specific to a creature as well. Like I said, it's a little weird mini category of board wipe. So it's not really a board wipe, but it's like everything that's there is wiped, if that makes sense. Anyway, in conclusion, board wipes come in all shapes and sizes, but don't be overwhelmed by the amount of sections I had in this video. All of these fall into the removal category in my deck building guide video. If you haven't checked that out, check it out there. If you'd like to see more of how these should go in any given deck, you can check that thing out. If you'd like to purchase any of these cards, do so through the TCGplayer affiliate link in the description below. And if you need playmats, visit that Milkman Proxy link as well. And one more, we've got the Arcane Fortress link down there as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week for your weekly dose of magic.